Hey guys, how's it going? Miso here, back with a new game called Guardian Tales, which recently got released in the US, and pretty much a bunch of different YouTube content creators are getting into this, and I am no different. I got sucked in and have been playing this game a lot. Now, this video isn't really going to be talking about giving this game a review or kind of going over the different parts of the game, but rather it's going to be an overview of the game and kind of giving you an idea about who this game is for and who this game isn't quite for. So let's get started and jump right in. So this game is an action RPG to begin with, where you're actively controlling your character and you have a party that supports behind you. Of course, these party members you can choose to use if you kind of swap the order, you make them leads, but you're going to be controlling the main character and going around playing it, like an action RPG. It's a puzzle type of game where you're going to play through it and remind you a lot of, Legend of Zelda or like a Metroid type of game. And what I mean by this is that there's a lot of puzzles where you have to solve to progress through the story. Each stage is going to have areas where you can't really go into until you get a certain unlock and come back. And additionally, there's also kind of a small city building element to the game where you build up this town with different buildings, you come back, collect resources, materials, and you can get the ability to get certain items from the town as well, where you wouldn't be able to get it, in other parts of the game. So that's kind of the type of game this is. It's really like people would describe it as like a Metroidvania, right? Puzzly action RPG where you come in and solve different puzzles to get through the story. Now, who is this game for? So in my opinion, this game is really for those who are looking for a bit more of like an involvement in a gacha game. So of course this is a gacha game to begin with, right? But it's not really your standard gacha game where you're autoing everything. Of course, there are areas that you can auto to farm resources, because that would kind of be annoying to run through those areas over and over again to get the resources. But the main story of the game, you cannot auto through. You're going to have to go through all that, go through all the different puzzles, go and get those unlocks, and come back and do the stages. So that is really what this game is, kind of like. And if you like that type of game style, gameplay, this game might be for you. If you played any kind of like the 2D Zeldas or really Zeldas in general, and you're into that type of gameplay, yeah, a lot of these stages are kind of like mini dungeons, right? When you go into a dungeon, there's a bunch of puzzles where you're working towards to solve and get to the boss, right? This is kind of like that, where you go into the stage, there's a bunch of little mini puzzles that you have to collect pieces or do certain things to eventually unlock the boss. So that's a little bit about what this game, who this game is for, right? So this section is a little short because I think that it's easy to take a look at the game at a surface, right? And see the parts that you like. Now, let's talk a little bit about the other parts, the parts that you may not like, or the parts where you're, this game isn't quite for me. So what type of person probably shouldn't be playing this game or may not be as interested? Of course, I always encourage everybody to give this a shot, but not everybody has time on their hands to play all these different games and try them all out, because this game does, require a little bit of time investment to really understand all the intricacies and all the different parts of the game. So definitely understand that, and we want to provide this little bit of context to let you know it beforehand, like maybe I just shouldn't give this game a shot. So who's this game not for? It's not for the person that's really looking for a more laid-back, turn off your brain type of game. It's not to say that these people are not trying to think or can't think, but after a long work day, after a long school day, you might just want to unwind to something that's, a little bit more mindless. This isn't that. There's a good number of puzzles in this game. While they're not all that complex, there are definitely some that can stump you if you lose focus or miss something. And for me, I've played through the first 2 worlds, and I definitely already had to look up a guide or two to these stages to find all the different hidden areas and hidden, currencies and pieces to collect. If you're not, and it's also, this game is not for somebody who's not really looking to invest time into the game. Like, what I mean by that is, for some games you can really just auto your way through. You don't have to focus on it. You can just do other things and you'll still progress through the game while it's autoing. This game, at least for the story part of it, you really can't do that. And you know, the story mode is quite long. I've played this game for about 2 to 3 hours already, and I'm only in world 3, and I think there's like 8 worlds or something like that, because there's just so many different side quests in this game where you have to go into these areas, go back to it after you get an unlock, or really explore the different nooks and crannies. And in terms of like PvP, you don't unlock that until at least a few hours in. I think it's like world 3 or 4 or something like that where you unlock it. I haven't gotten there yet, but PvP does look interesting. You have to be okay with going back to different stages, right? As I mentioned earlier, you're going to be going back and forth. It's a Metroidvania type of game where you'll have areas that you can't go to. You like can see them, but you know that you don't have like the certain equipment or the certain unlock to get to that area. You'll have to, you know, really go and remember like, okay, this area, this stage, there's an area that I couldn't get to. I need to come back when I get this item and then get the rest of the unlocks. And, you know, like I said, there's just a lot of side paths. You have to check every nook and cranny because there are a lot of secret areas with items and loot and currency. So it's definitely not for those that's kind of like looking to turn off their brains. And additionally, it's not for somebody who's looking for like a classic hero collector. This game isn't that. You unlock a lot of heroes as you're playing through the game, and there are heroes you can pull for, summon for, but this game is a lot about the equipments that you get. Of course, some of the heroes are very strong that you can pull, but you can also get some of the stronger heroes just by playing through the game and getting the currency. The real kind of like thing that you're pulling for, especially at the beginning, is going to be the weapon. There's a lot of strong weapons in this game that you can get through the summon system, and you can't really get as many of those through playing the game itself. So what you're really going to be rolling for are these weapons, and you're not going to be rolling for those heroes as much, especially at the beginning, which might be a turnoff to a lot of people. And if you're the type that wants to reroll and get a head start, this game is quite heavy on the, I guess, front end time investment. It can take you anywhere between like 30 minutes to an hour to get to the first reroll section, depending on how much you want to reroll. You know, you could spend like 30 minutes and get like a small reroll, but you can spend like an hour and get like, you know, the big 11 pool reroll. So it really is a lot of front end investment if you do want to do the rerolling, which a lot of people do want to do because it is a game with PvP and you want to set yourself up with the best start, right? For me, my philosophy is that if I enjoy a game enough, I'm just going to pay for it anyways. So I'm not really going to reroll if the game is, you know, takes a lot of time to reroll, which this game is. And as I mentioned, you're not autoing through anything, right? So you can't quite auto through the stages to re-roll. So that can be a turnoff for a lot of people who are kind of trying to get that perfect head start. And lastly, this game might not be for you if you're the type of person that is looking for a game to play on the go. Like, you know, maybe you've got 5 minutes here and there to play it, and then you pull out your phone and play that game for those 5 minutes or so. I don't think this is the game for you, because a lot of these stages, especially the story stages, they're long, as I mentioned. The stages can be anywhere between 5 to 20 minutes long. And, you know, it's doable to, you know, play a little bit and then stop playing and come back. But, you know, while this game is very good at saving progress if you exit the stage, but if you crash or, like, you know, you turn off your phone, come back and it gets disconnected and you can't reconnect, then you might have to go through that entire stage again with all those, you know, unlocks or whatever that you went through. Spent like 15-20 minutes on, you know, they could be gone. And even if you do exit the stage, right? Let's say you're like, oh, I gotta go for a while. I know I'm not going to play this again. I'm going to exit the stage and then log out. You will still have to go through that stage again. Like you're gonna have like the currency that you picked up, you know, certain things that are gonna stay, you know, as unlocked or like things that you've done, but you're still gonna have to go through a lot of those puzzles that you went through at the beginning. So if you're the type of person that doesn't have like, you know, 20 to 30 minutes at a time to sit down and play this game, this might not be for you. And, you know, even if you don't mind going through that, it's like sometimes you forget how to do it and then you have to like go back, figure it out. It just takes a lot of time, right? But for me, the type of person I am and the games that I play and the time that I have, I generally have a good bit of time, time to play these games, and I personally think this is a game is a lot of fun, and I would see myself playing it for a while. And as I mentioned earlier, if a game I enjoy, this much, I'd be willing to pay the money for it. This is one of those games. I think I'm gonna be willing to pay money for it and roll. We'll see though. I'm still pretty early on in the game, but having a lot of fun. Spent multiple hours on this, and I can see myself getting to the end of the story and spending my time, after that, grinding up characters, things like that, pulling on heroes. So generally, this game's really great. I really enjoy it, and I don't say that often about a gacha game, because I've played a lot of gacha games and I've dropped a lot of gacha games, and I really don't have the time and day to spend on, bad games, I guess. So there's my endorsement, there's my review, there's my kind of who should play it and who shouldn't play it. Hopefully this kind of clears things up for you and gives you a little bit of insight about whether or not this game is for you, because it's definitely not for everybody. But as always, guys, leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know if you're planning to play this game. Let me know if you're already playing this game. Let me know if you're on the fence and have any questions for me, because I'm happy to answer them. As always, thumbs up if you enjoyed it, thumbs down if you didn't, tell me why, and if you really like my content, please consider giving me a subscribe, because I really enjoy seeing y'all back here. Alright guys, until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace out.